Welcome to Eastway Park, home of Charlotte's newest 18-hole disc golf course. My name is David Weaver, and I'm a member of the Charlotte Disc Golf Club, as well as the designer for the new course at Eastway. I look forward to walking through the course with you today and showing you just what we have been working on in Charlotte for the last year. After a renovation project in the park that resulted in a complete overhaul of the disc golf course, we are pleased to bring players a par 59 layout that measures right at 6,300 feet and plays through both familiar and entirely new parts of the property at Eastway. Along with the 18-hole course, which caters to tournament-level players, the new design also features a short 9-hole course overlaid on the front nine of the main course with a par of 30 that caters to young and very new to the game players. Hole 1 is a 261-foot slightly uphill S shot, finishing right at the end. A common play on this hole will be sidearm or turnover backhand. The short tee pad on this hole measures 171 feet, and as we move through the course, you'll notice that the front nine has a short layout for beginner players, most of the holes measuring between 100 and 200 feet. For those familiar with the old layout at Eastway, hole 1 is roughly in the area of old holes 17 and 18. Hole 2 is a familiar part of the course which spans over several of the old holes on the back nine. This 618-foot par 4 from the longs, 400 feet from the short, throws over a retention pond, with OB around the retention pond and the greenway to the right. Hole 3 at Eastway Park measures 585 feet from the longs and 410 feet from the shorts. This par 4 from both locations starts in the open but quickly narrows as you find yourself in the woods snaking down toward an OB pond. Those familiar with the old Eastway layout will remember this hole as a par 3, however with new construction, a par 4 was created adding roughly 250 feet to the hole, along with the out-of-bounds OB. Hole 4 is a dogleg 301-foot hole from the longs, 183-foot straight shot from the shorts. While the dogleg turn on hole 4 is steep, players will have lots of vertical space to work the disc from high to low, crashing into the green for a chance at birdie. Hole 5 is a 292-foot water carry, slight right to left turn, with a short tee pad that plays on a different fairway across the pond. For those that don't make it in bounds off the tee, the short tee pad will act as a drop zone. Hole 6 at Eastway Park is one of the easier par 3s on the course, measuring only 267 feet. A well-executed shot with your straightest mid-range should get you inside circle 1 for a chance at birdie. Hole 7 is one of the more unique holes on the course, with the short pad playing farther away from the basket than the long course pad. The short is a par 4 measuring 316 feet, while the long is a par 3 measuring 280 feet. With one tree in the middle to beat and a few trees around the basket, this is a good chance at a birdie with a good sidearm shot. Coming in is the shortest hole on the course. Hole 8, measuring 231 feet, certainly isn't the easiest. With tightly lined trees on the left and right, players will have to throw a touchy sidearm or a flip-up backhand to have a chance at birdie. And with the basket hidden just over the crest of the hill, depth perception becomes a difficult challenge on this hole. Hole 9 is a 265-foot, slightly uphill par 3 with a slight hyzer line. Players will have to choose between a mid-range and a fairway driver to dial in the distance and have a chance at birdie on this very gettable par 3. Kicking off the back nine is hole 10, which measures 262 feet and plays slightly downhill and to the right. This is another great option for sidearm or backhand, and you'll have to pick the straightest disc in your bag with a slight bit of turn to have a chance at birdie here. Hole 10 is maintained by Robert Pisano, one of our most dedicated volunteers at Eastway. Robert has logged over 100 hours during the construction phase of Eastway and is a frequent resident of the park. Hole 11 is sure to be a crowd favorite at Eastway. This 235-foot short hyzer shot plays through two of the biggest trees on the property before snaking down and back up a valley with a stream and two bridges in between. Players will have to choose between the inside or outside line, as there are trees protecting the center of the fairway on the second half of the hole. Hole 12 is one of the more unique par 3s in Charlotte and is sure to be a crowd favorite at Eastway. With two separate fairways offering multiple shot options, The 301-foot slightly uphill 12th is a hole that anyone with a distance can find a shot that suits the eye. Players will also have to contend with an out-of-bounds creek about 100 feet off the tee that intersects the hole and offers some added danger for lingering tee shots. Hole 13 is the longest par 3 on the course, measuring in at 334 feet. While this hole's fairway is almost perfectly straight, the contour plays slightly uphill and then back downhill, making the basket hidden from view while standing on the tee. The tightly guarded 13th will require perfect shot angle and disc selection, as the ideal shot for this hole will be a slight hyzer with an understable driver that quickly flips to flat and holds a straight line without fading out at the end of the flight. Hole 14 is a 291-foot par 3 that plays slightly downhill and to the left. This piece of the property was home to some of the worst poison ivy ever seen on a disc golf course in Charlotte. Shout out to the many volunteers who went home itchy after removing hundreds of vines and ground debris after the initial clearing of this now beautifully manicured fairway. Hole 15 at Eastway features 2 tee pads, the long playing 331 feet and the short playing 263 feet. For right-handed players, both fairways will play as a sidearm, where left-handed players will have hyzer options. The long tee pad on hole 15 is the second longest par 3 at Eastway. Hole 16 is a 285-foot par 3 playing slightly uphill and to the left. You'll have to hit a tight gap about 2/3 of the way off the fairway and not turn the disc over, as there's an OB creek on the right side of the fairway. Taking a break from the par 3s, hole 17 is a 536-foot par 4 that requires players to throw a technical placement shot off the tee. This heavily guarded green, with OB on the right, will require 2 perfect shots to have a chance at birdie. Hole 18 will be considered by many to be the signature hole on the course. The finishing hole at Eastway offers multiple tee pad options, which include a 700-foot par 5 and a shorter 480-foot par 4. Both holes utilize the same fairway, which plays mostly straight until the beginning of an out-of-bounds creek and natural area that will require players to decide between going for the green, laying up, or playing down the slight dogleg fairway to the right in order to bite off distance for the approach shot into the green. Strokes can add up with the never-ending presence of trees and strategically placed OB. However, if played cleanly, players capable of throwing 400 feet can have a look at eagle or an easy birdie opportunity to finish their round. Our vision for hole 18 was to create a hole that had players thinking about strategy and scoring separation before they even stepped on the tee, because of the added challenge and potential danger synonymous with this beast of a finishing hole. Thank you for taking a walk with us today through the new course at Eastway Park. We would like to thank videographer Kurt Story for his work creating this video, and to the many volunteers in the Charlotte Disc Golf community that as a group contributed over 1,500 hours of volunteer work in 2021 to make this course a reality. We hope to see you out on the course soon and look forward to seeing Eastway become a part of our disc golf community here in the Queen City.